this video, I'm just going to discuss, is it time now for a new political party? Is it time for both the Republican and the Democratic parties to just disappear? Think about it. Both parties now have gotten to the point where they're basically a joke. They are basically a joke. All they do is throw false accusations at each other. They try to destroy each other's candidates. You got the media and comedians. They're basically a joke now. They've got to make fun of Trump's using two hands. I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for the guy. I never could. Never would. I just don't agree with him on too many things. They become a joke. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Let's face it, for a long time, both parties have become a joke. Now you got the Democrats, a lot of communists, and not all communists are Democrats, so don't get me wrong. But basically, it seems like the extreme left, the Democrats have basically embraced the extreme left, while the Republicans seem to embrace the extreme right. So you'll never get an agreement between those two parties. And most of them are made up of very old people that are about to disappear anyways, boomers and all those others. The newer generations are being sucked in to these parties by college professors, their parents, preachers, or whatever, But both parties, I think, have outlived their purposes, And those that support communism, you are a disgusting human being, okay? Just like neo-Nazis. Communism does not work, has never worked. You have to force people, when they work hard either getting an education or working at a factory or something for long hours, to make the same amount of money as somebody who barely graduates high school, not because of intellectual deficiencies, but because they don't care about learning and they don't do hardly anything. And yet you want their pay to be the same, you want them to have the same type of lifestyle and everything. Do you think that a person who is going to be too willing to go to college to be a doctor or work in a factory for 80 hours a week or a mine for 80 or 100 hours a week is going to, be too willing to work hard? Come on, think about that. Just think. There's a reason why there's not one successful communist country. You may say, well, China, I hate to tell you this, China kind of moved away from communism when they realized that they were being left behind. They were smarter than the Soviets. After the Soviet Union collapsed, China kind of woke up, and figured, hey, this crap can happen to us. And like any communist country, they tend to be very, very oppressive to their workers. They have to be, How else are you going to get people to work when, hey, what's the point of working when you don't own the land, you don't own none of the means of production? The government does. Well, if I don't own anything, why should I take care of anything? I don't own this house, I don't own this land. Why should I take care of it? Think about renting versus owning a home. Who's more likely to take care of their place that they live? Well, China is more authoritative nation. They're no longer a true communist. You could even probably make an argument about North Korea. They're just authoritative. They may, claim to be communist, but you could probably make an argument about that. But let's move on now. I just had to throw that out there. And those of you that do support communism, let's just say for argument's sake you make this country communist. Let's just say that. Well, I hate to break this to you, but the same thing that happened in the Soviet Union and all other countries was going to happen here. You guys will be put in the gulags with the rest of us. You know why? Because you're now a threat. You were what Stalin called useful idiots. You were useful. You outlived your usefulness. It's time for you to go. Because they do not want people that are going to protest and use violence. Because they now have the control. Why would they need you anymore? They'd be worried that you're going to now do the same thing to them. But now let's move on. As I was saying. As some of you know, I am running for president for 2020. Like me, I don't know what I will call my political party. Yet, I haven't decided on a name. But, it'll be a new party. It won't be a Republican or Democrat. Although I am technically a registered Republican. I've been that for a long time. I haven't really voted for any Republicans or Democrat. I just don't support either political party. I just simply kind of flipped the coin and chose one in the box, and did that. But I would obviously change my political party. And then, of course, be independent till I can, get enough people to join a new political party. Basically, strong freedom of speech. Whether I agree with you or not, you have the right to say it. We will defend your right to say it, even though I don't agree with it. Strong freedom of speech. Of course, the equal opportunity law will stay. You can't, and if you watch my other videos, you'll know what I'm saying. But anyways, I would also add, you can't discriminate against sexual orientation, gender identity, and of course, if the person is an atheist. You can't discriminate against any of that. And of course, you got other things. Just watch my other videos in my presidential series, and you'll see what some of my beliefs are. But that's basically what my party will support. No longer of either Republicans or Democrats. They're just a bunch of older people, and they're getting the younger millennials and all these others in there. And most of let's face it, the Republicans now are not even the only real difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is that the Republicans don't even hide the fact that they don't care about you. Both of them are controlled by big business interests. Both of them are. They are. I know they are. And they know they just don't care. But at least the Republicans don't hide that fact. The Democrats do, and they both lie to you, and they use the media to control you and lie. They know how to get you. They know how to lie. Use humor to mock other people's views. Of course, you try to deplatform, you destroy their lives, and all this other nonsense. It is definitely time for a new political party. It's time for both the Republicans and the Democrats to go. They need to disappear. I'm not talking about the people. I'm just talking about the parties themselves. Just need to go. We need new political parties that can get along, that can respect each other's beliefs, and of course, the Second Amendment, the Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, support the Constitution. And I want to say this, I've never heard anyone say it, but I'm going to say it. A person that I consider a patriot, a true patriot, patriotic, and I believe that you should be patriotic and love your country, but a true patriot doesn't just love their country, but is willing to point out the flaws in their country, and is willing to call their country, out when their country does something they shouldn't be doing, That is a true patriot. It takes guts to do stuff like that. And most people that consider themselves patriots will bash anybody that tells you, hey, our country used to do this, this, and this. Well, those are the true patriots, unless they're saying, well, our country shouldn't exist and stuff like that, which some people do seem to believe. But I'm talking about any particular country. I'm not talking about just the U.S. But anyways, it is definitely time for both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party to disappear. All they can do now, because they're so useless, they're so out of touch with the average person, all they can do is bicker with each other, try to destroy each other's candidates, and eventually they will destroy this country if we allow them to continue. Say goodbye to the Republicans and goodbye to the Democrats. The problem is, they have so much power, control, and money that they can prevent that to happen. They will use the media and these late night show comedians to make sure that they stay in power, and they'll screw you over. They don't care. They could care less about you or me. We have way too much. It's not going to change. Nothing in this country, nothing in this world is going to change. Trump is president now. Eventually we'll get a Democrat president. All Democrats will be in the Congress and everything. They'll do what they do, and then they'll get swept out, and the Republicans will be in. They'll do what they do. They'll get swept out, and the Democrats and the Republicans and Democrats and Republicans, blah, blah, blah. Each time, our party's going to do better. And then this guy, and our party is going to do this and this. Our party is going to make things better. Wait till this guy or this woman is out of office. Our party, we're going to fix this. My generation is going to fix all the problems of your generation. My generation is going to do better. Yeah, I don't believe you, because I can look at the past and see that you were wrong. And also, this millennial crap, people bashing millennials. I'm not a millennial, I'm a Gen Xer. You sound like a out-of-date, bitter old man, get off my lawn. You remember those people? I remember them. They were really obnoxious in the 70s. I remember back in the 70s when I was a kid, you're on a fence, playing on the fence or something, in your own yard. Part of your hand might be in their yard or something. And, get out of my yard, get off my fence, get out, shut the hell up, old man. But that's what you sound like. Because you got to remember, when you're pointing one finger at somebody, there's three pointing right back at you. You blame the millennials. Remember, who's teaching? Ask yourself, who's teaching them these things? Who's teaching them? Their professors, the media, the comedians, their parents. You know. You call people, what do you expect them to behave like? I mean, seriously. And do you really think Gen Xers and baby boomers or any other generation is any better or worse than millennials? I mean, come on. No generation is perfect. And millennials, from what I've seen that I've worked around, are not that great, but they're not that bad either. And same with Gen Xers and boomers. It's just the way it is. Oh, well, bye. Pointless video.